Aloha, everyone. I am live for the second time, and I asked the question, what if I told you that there's one thing I've learned that can make or break every relationship you have? What do you think that is? Without it, relationships crumble. With it, they become a gift that keeps on giving, no matter what challenges we face. And what is it? Trust. Trust is the cornerstone of all our interactions. And so today, let's talk about trust. Um, so stay with me. We're going to explore the profound impact of trust on our lives and how we can cultivate it in order to face the challenges that we have ahead of us. And so I like to think about trust as one of those things that if you don't know the importance of it, what happens when you lose it, right? What happens when you lose it? I mean, for me, I've learned it can last forever. And so it's so important to establish. And I think the foundation of trust comes from our beliefs. For example, would you like to have quick and deep relationships with other people so that you can connect so quickly and you just love them? Well, for me, that's come pretty natural, but I have a belief that is different from other people. I believe that strangers are just friends I haven't met yet. No matter what they look like or dress like, I see through that and I start there. And so that's one, our beliefs, because those of you who may have been told over and over, stranger people, don't ever trust them. I dated some people like that, that they didn't trust anybody. And it makes it so hard to connect, right? And so another piece, which is very critical when you even want to talk about this subject, and many others, of course, like love, which we talked about in the last video, it's our shared values. Now, your come from, as my dear friend Doug Krug would talk about, your come from, if you're coming from a place of service to others and you have a very strong social value, then that's one way to come from, as opposed to what other people can read, which is maybe you're coming from self interest. Now, we all have self-interest, but the fact is that when you are focused so clearly on that, it's like they can read. Many of us can read that like a neon sign that you're just in it for yourself. Now, of course, listening to things to improve yourself so that you can be of greater service, that to me isn't really self interest. That still falls into social. And most of my friends are the ones who are trying so hard and care so deeply about others. And so, this is something that we really want to think about because I have three keys that I'd like to mention of how we can maintain it. First one is how much you care. And it's caring in a specific way. It's caring in a way that you believe the best in others instead of jumping to the conclusion of seeing the worst of others. And that's a habit. It's also hardwired into us. So believing the best of others can also lead to questions that are inquiry based as opposed to persecution based. And so that's something that's very important. So you care, but believing in the best in others. Another one, especially as a parent, is commit. You know, my daughter, I love her to death. And and I would not say yes to things that I couldn't commit to. The same at work. If I couldn't commit to it, I one time had a boss go completely postal on me because I wouldn't commit to something that I felt there's a chance I couldn't do it. And when you commit, then you've got to be there. And that's so important. A lot of people have an attitude that they want to be there, but their behavior is not in align with that. And then there's something else which I'll talk about later. And then the third one is keeping your cool. That means that you're not going to go negative on people, that you're not going to be so upset with someone that you have to feel you've got to go negative on them. Because one of the things I've learned is that when you go negative, you break the trust and you shake the foundation of every relationship, maybe never to repair it. And while you could be factually correct that whatever you want to say is true, but if you want to make things better, you've got to be smarter and come up with a different approach so that you don't have to go there. We don't have to go negative. But that requires going negative is easy and lazy. That's what I would tell you. It's easy and lazy. It's like not thinking about the other person. But that vibration that you give off, everything about negativity undermines the very trust that we say we want to build, and that in fact, maybe we're not going there. And so, right now, what I'd like you to think about are those three things that I discussed. And then, if you would please, I'd love it if you would reflect on your relationships. Are you building trust or unknowingly undermining them in the ways that I discussed? Please share your thoughts in the comments, and we'll continue to foster trust in our relationships. And the final thing is, I've just created a channel because trust is going to be part of that. I've only posted one song, which I thought you might appreciate, but it's called Stress Intelligence on YouTube, all one word. And so if you go onto YouTube and then you say Stress Intelligence, you'll see a little icon that has a smiley face with a dark side and a light side. And if you wouldn't mind, please join it. I'm just starting and I will be posting these videos in the future. So thank you. Loved having you today. And I'll just sign off now. Aloha.